Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back here to your channel. I want to say thank you for coming in. Thank you for the clicks, the likes, the shares, the subscribes, and the new subscribers. And yes, we are alive. Life alive. We decided today to talk about this particular topic because we've seen a lot of demandings of within the soul connections that you demanding at your partner, your soul connections, your twin flame, your soulmate, however it's in your case. In there, it is about the demands and what is it the journey is going to be getting it with this. As far as the goal, we had a very good conversations about it, but we also by practicing and there we want to share our experience with you. Hopefully, this is going to be helping some of you because people have this personal boundaries. You have this what was the word standards. Okay, we're talking about standards of here, and they are demanding certain things. But when you look at the natural path of events, the natural things of events that comes in, they are asking you to not demanding, but following the path that it comes in. Because with those standards, maybe some of those standards are not proper standards. Maybe some of the standards is actually the proper standards, right? And through the connections without you demanding certain things, you're beginning to understand and let the flow of natural path of events that comes in, but then the unconditional love, because there is no anymore demanding conditions in there, begins to understand and help you why those standards, why they need it, what standards has to be really kept up, and what has to be let it go. So with that, and without other ado, giving you Mrs. Aqua Spirit, Paulina.
Hi, everyone. It's good to be back. And as usual, we are talking about those things, but there's always certain layers that come to it, and especially when we are talking about the standards and building towards the proper direction and proper connections. You know that first you need to know yourself and know how much of your so-called standards there may be brought from the past or past habits or the way you used to think about relationships. So that's why I wanted to talk more about it, because it's not only about building the standards. In general, they are good, but it's only as good as your level of awareness. Because until you know yourself really, what kind of qualities you're looking for in relationships, what are you assuming as a or considering as a proper relationship, until you know this stuff and until you know what you're bringing into the relationship, there is a chance that the things you'll be demanding or requiring from your partner will have not much to do with building a stable connection and just creating this sense of balance and respect that it's needed, right, to build something long lasting. So as usual, the first step is always to get to know yourself and maybe step back and just rethink, your level of understanding about standards, about some like non-negotiables in a relationship. And then once you do that, you kind of you have those let's call it requirements, but not really, but let's keep it in your awareness for long enough with certain detachment. So it's you keep it for yourself, you know what you attract, you know what you're trying to strive towards, but then you also need to leave the space for the universe to bring you what you need. So you see, it's not really completely taking the full control over your life and your relationships, your connections, but you know what you deserve. That's where is the self-worth that's coming from. But at the same time, it's important to really leave the space for the right things first to fall off, because many of the things like you really have to let go in the past, but also you have to have this openness towards the future, towards what's really being presented to you. So that's why we should not have those strict requirements towards anyone, really, because that's the only way for them to go through a certain level of transformation, or maybe reach certain level, so they can match your vibration, they can actually meet you at the right level.
Very beautiful, because I mean, as Paulina was talking about it, why you have to leave the space for the universe. Imagine that you are stubborn. You imagine that stubbornation's in there, and it's like unless until there will be no. So basically, you creating a huge blockages. First of all, personal blockages, as Paulina said. First, you gotta understand personally yourself. But second of all, you're blocking what's coming towards you, what is coming up from the universe towards you. Those energy that it's going to be coming in with it. You always have to be learn to be a flexible, and that flexibility the universe is asking you about, to be a flexible, to be flexible, to let it go of certain things, to be a flexible, to be open to the new things, because that's how the evolution is going to be going with you. So when once it starts going with you, you're going to find out that when there is no demands, when there is no this requirements, the standards in there that are so stubborn, okay, when you kind of like set them on the side for a little bit, okay, and see what the universe is bringing in, then together with the universe and that standards, you're going to be starting to creating a higher level of self-awareness. What is that higher level of self-awareness will determine it together with your standards, with your future as a destiny, as a couple that it comes in, and with the sharing with the partner. All of a sudden you're going to see how the third things beginnings to emerge. And from those three things, the third thing that it comes into emerge, this togetherness, union with the universe, you're going to find out that some of those demands, some of those standards, you were standing on your own way, because that was your personal limitations that you're projecting towards your partner. Oh, I cannot do this, and therefore your partner cannot do this. Okay, so you have to, as the connection is going to be evolved, which is very beautiful when you come to this level. God blesses your soul. Hopefully, you come to these points in there, because here you're beginning to really not only work it out your personal stuff. Here you're beginning to also work it out together with your partner and with the universe. This is what we're talking about soul connections union. Okay, you're not just cooperating with things. You beginning to be a little bit more aware of about the things that comes in. So with all this, when this kind of like a soup, it comes in, something is going to go out of it, and whatever it's left over, this is going to be what you're going to be working with. Okay, but you have to make sure that your personal stubbornness, your personal limitations, your personal things, you're not converting to a demands, because when you convert them to demands, you're blocking not only on a personal level, you're not only blocking at your connections with blocking your connection, but you're also blocking what? The universe to comes in. Okay, and here is certain things that you're going to be, because when you're making a plan, so all of a sudden they fell off, and all of a sudden some other opportunity just drops out of the sky and it comes in towards you, and you're like, what happened? Right? Because you have not evolved the universe within the connection. All of a sudden the universe says, here, there's the opportunity. Here, this is the things. It's not what you think you should have done. It's not about that. It's not about, it's about this right here. Okay.
No, there is this certain level of trust that we are all learning, right? Like, just where is this line in which we try to control how much we do and how much you contribute and how much we try to navigate this connection in a more active way, where we have our choices, and of course, like, you're asked to perform certain way, and you asked to overcome old patterns and go across. And sometimes it seems like it's the higher or the further you go, those old blockages are feeling even more intense. But those are the moments that you are required to go forward, right? Like to move across. But there is also those moments that, as Dio was explaining, that you just need to have a trust that whatever redirection you're being guided towards, it's necessary for the next part of the journey. Because I don't think all of those things that are happening in our lives meant to be controlled. I think some part of it we are just meant to experience, and it's the connection. It's like the first step that it's teaching you to just accept things as they are and just be open into this the whole scenario as it wants to unfold, because we are here to experience things. There is this level of co-creation that many people talk about, but there is also certain trends that people, I think, they try to take like the full control over their experience. And there is this fine line when we are talking about this like people think, I think they want to put themselves in this highest point to become the like the godlike, which is not very good. And it's of course like you need to see where you stand, right? Because I believe like life is very beautiful when you can experience or sense this gentle flow, how it tries to navigate or help you navigate the whole experience. I don't think we're supposed to kind of desperately push towards. We can navigate gently those floats and those manifestation as they will be coming. But it's always the question of do you have a trust, and can you apply this I would call it like non-judgment at some certain points, that there are events that will be happening that may not look like you imagined, or even your partner may not act as you imagine, as your ideal partner would act like. But can you really stay a little bit aside? Can you stop judging? Can you start accepting and trusting that it's at this present moment, like that's what you're given, and you make the best out of this opportunity, out of this connection, out of this whatever situation even that will be coming to you, without analyzing it before. Just deal with the things as they come to you, and then just trust that in the whole picture they will start making sense. And sometimes we just don't understand everything right away, and some of those things, those redirections I was talking about, they are necessary, but the whole picture, it comes after. It's like you just accept what comes to you and stay humble, right? Just to see, because you may not understand everything. You may try to manifest something that is not really your highest good or your highest potential. So that's why we may help it. We, of course, we are being asked not to sit passively, and we are meant to add our energies and put it towards. But there will be those moments that you're gonna be asked to, okay, just experience, embrace what is coming to you.
She got a lot of wisdom, you gotta admit that. Um, Talking about what she was talking about, why is that? I mean, for many years and years, and for many family patterns, for ever since the world was created, one thing, I need to control others. That kind of like a pattern that doesn't exist in a union. And if you look at the demands, you looking at the portions of the things that you're doing within your soul connections isn't there. If you're trying to put a control, there is no union. There is a dictatorship somewhere. And this is why you have these demands towards your partner. You're trying to dictate it the way it is, and so on and so on. While when you have this control, you're also missing the point of the universe that comes in unified with both of you, because the universe is bringing the connection, right? So when you allow the universe to comes in, all this is going to come into to a very beautiful fruitations, okay? Because you're trying to control the manifestation. Well, that's called manipulation. You're manipulating manifestation processes in order you to control in the base of your own personal demands because you want something in there. While if you're following the manifestations the way it works in the proper way, you ask the universe to give you the blessing. It's like, okay, let's, yeah, you got to be very careful what you're asking for because the universe is going to bring you what you ask for it exactly in a way. Okay. Personal experience with the house. We will learn that in a very good way, actually. It was a very beautiful learning. But when we're talking about here, again, is to understand the level of the union when it comes in not only between you and your partner, the level of the union when also the universe steps in and you both unified with the universe. Okay. So it's going to be required this letting it go. It's going to be required the trust. It's going to be required the surrender. Those three things in there, even I spoke in previous videos in there. Trust, surrender, and let go. Those are the three things you better master it. Okay, as they say in the United States, you need to be mustering big way. And this is a right here when you do this, when you let it go of the controls buttons, so when you let it all of all this, and you stop having those demands, you give the freedom, freedom to yourself, freedom to your partner, and a freedom from within the universe. And now you can be able to beginning all those three. They're gonna comes in. There will be no personal demands. There's still gonna be some boundaries. There's still going to be some standards in there for the connections, but they are going to be look at it within the universe, and the universe says like, okay, you need to work on this, you need to work on that, you need to get it in there. Here's what I'm going to be working on. So you're going to figure it out how this connection actually begins to work in a much more peaceful, proper way. The things that we've been talking about is that how you know you're in the right way. You have a peace in the soul even if the things doesn't work out certain things or a certain situations all right, you're in a learning process curve. You cannot go ahead and blame yourself about learning or understanding something in there. The worst thing that you do though, and what we are seeing it through a lot of the comments and the chats and the things, is demanding. Demanding you demanding to talk to your twin flame, you demanding to talk your soul connections, you are demanding they must, they have, and so on and so on. And now you don't work on yourself. And this is what comes in is to pay attentions to the patterns. They're asking you to work on operations of a soul and seeking your standard. Is those are standards? If those are limitations? If those are your personal things that you cannot do, and because you cannot do it, you don't want the twin flame, or you're demanding your twin flame to do it for you. You're basically asking the inner work that you need to do personally, your twin flame that comes in and doing it. You're demanding it. Oh, they must help me. They must support me. Or they need to be with this because I'm depending on them. You created a part of the codependencies in there. Okay. So please take a look at those patterns inside of it. And when you open up towards the universe, you also open up within a partner. And that energy begins to really flow in a proper way, to flow in a peaceful way. And you will see the progress of totally, totally different light of your growth in the soul and the spirit. That will have reflections because what's upstairs is downstairs. You're going to see some reflections on the things that is going on down here.
Yeah, just one reminder, because since we are going or coming into those connections at some point, right? Like you focus on your inner work, you detach you allow your twin to go if it's necessary, to go their ways. But eventually, I think the rule is to come together at some point. And just remember that we are in those unions for the purpose also to help each other to see things that sometimes you cannot see. So there are moments that you will be asked to, again, those are not requirements. You will be seeing things that your partner will not be able to see. And in those moments, it will be pretty useful for you to actually speak up. But it doesn't come up from the space of the demands. It's like you're observer, or you become a channel to express something that your partner cannot see, because we are meant to help each other here. Like, if until you reach the point that you did everything on your own that you were required to help yourself first, you can expect that there will be maybe some temporary connections, or your twin will be coming in and out. But eventually, I believe we're reaching certain point after which we just need, or maybe we kind of deserve, to have another person to help us grow even more, because you detached enough to shut down the demand. So you're gonna be building those connections based on mutual, like a care, that you care for someone. You don't care for yourself just to have someone and own someone. You are mature enough to have a proper connection, and you will become the mirror, like a proper mirror to the other person. And some of those moments, and that's how being in a peaceful state is important, to master that, because usually those moments that there will be no peace, or there will be some pressures, you're going to be asked to speak out, to discuss certain things, because you will know how the proper energy between you two works, and you will feel when something is off. But it doesn't mean that you're going to be requiring and demanding. That means that there is some certain pattern that it's coming up for both of you to discuss and address. So you see, like, you can approach those things from different ways. That sometimes we are meant to, um, like, take responsibility. It's not taking control, just to help your partner to grow a little bit more. But again, how do you master yourself? Not to do it from the space of demands and needs. You do it more from the space of a care, and you know that you're just a channel. You try to express something for your partner.
Did you get that? I hope you do, because we've seen it, some things that are of those controls and demands, and particularly this underneath energies of what you want and how you want, and so on, with into the connection. And as Paulina said, and I said here, watch your own thought patterns. Your own thought patterns, the way it is. Are you spoken out of this will of control? Are you spoken out towards your partner when things are getting, when they're in the pressure, and how you saying that things? Because when you are in the union, you're just making a comment, right? About maybe is this, maybe is that, maybe we should need to look this, maybe we should get it. An issue with your research at certain things. But you're not pointing the finger and it start blaming, shaming, and there, and that's the demand that comes in. And the people start taking it personally. Why did that my twin flames judging me? Why did that twin flame shaming me? I don't need that. I need someone to accept me so we can grow, right? I mean, there is this beautiful quote in all the French: it's someone who accepts where you've been, who you are, and it helps you and gently invites you to grow. That's what this is. You don't have to blame, shame, demand, control, manipulate, and so on, because of your personal limitations in there with you. It doesn't matter if they are emotional, energetical, physical, materialistic, and so on and so on. We will understand that the unification is there. It's coming because the two people coming together towards a common goal. And that goal is the internal peace in the soul within the universe. There you go. You get into the happiness, you get into the joy, you get into a different stage of love, right? Instead of, you worry all the time, you questions all the time, you all the time whining, mourning. Have you complained from your twin flame? Why do you complain? Why you complain from your connection? Who's complaining? Your lower self, maybe, right? So seeing at this, and when I see these patterns, stop. Stop and asking yourself, what can I do? How can I do it? What if there is something needs to be talked about it, how I need to learn to communicate when it's uncomfortable, but without demanding. But it's like, you know what, I think we should need to discuss this, or we should research this. Okay. How can we or easily comes in here? What do you feel? I feel like something is stagnant, something is this, something is that in there. And all of a sudden, when you begin to have the conversations, confirmations, okay, that's how it goes all the time with us here. And right there, the things are beginning to naturally unfold, evolutions unfold. And you begin to understand that your relationship between you two and the universe is you two are the seeds, the universe is the environment. And you begin to bloom. How are you blooming? Right? You're making a flower, or with the demands, you're making a thorns. What it's going to be is dependent on you.
Yeah, one thing that you mentioned, it's maybe someone has to look, because it happens from time to time that we have tendencies to ask for advice, how to navigate relationship. And I'm not saying about, like, we are not supposed to share our experiences and share and maybe try to get some guidance. But I've seen several times, like, people are expecting other people, strangers or even friends, but looking outside for the right recipe, what I'm supposed to do, what sometimes even what am I supposed to say to my twin flame, or like how do I, like, it's almost like asking for the most basic thing, how to communicate with another person. And I think if you have tendencies to do that, it's really important for you to find out your own courage to make your own decisions about how you want to build your own connection. I don't know, there may be different sources why people expect strangers to dictate the move, like what I'm supposed to do, what are the steps to build a relationship. If you're at the stage that you don't know how to communicate with each other, it's going to be very difficult for you to build anything, because it's almost like two children try to play in a relationship, and you need someone to take your hand and just guide you. You kind of want to have a relationship, but you're afraid to take ownership or responsibility. You prefer someone else to tell you what to do in case something is wrong. You don't have a responsibility for that. So with this, I think some people just expect maybe some golden recipe that maybe finally I will tell the right thing for my twin, not to scare him or her away. So there's certain amount of fear, because just notice if contacting each other causes you so much trouble and you need to overthink that, and you're afraid to make the wrong choice or say the wrong thing, it's important to have a look, because it's usually you're gonna be having a lot of difficult conversations. So it's not about avoiding them. It's more about if the other person is ready to have them, to discuss some uncomfortable things. Because maybe once or twice there was something not fully, maybe you didn't feel safe, and right now you're afraid to actually speak. And you ask someone else, tell me how to talk to my partner. So this is something that everyone has to check for themselves. But this is not very good sign if you feel like you have no personal power to make the right choices and how to communicate properly with each other. So that's definitely something to check with yourself, or where these tendencies are coming from if you are facing it.
Very good point. It comes in when she was talking about somebody to grab your hand. This is like when you are 3 year old and mom or dad have to grab your hand so they can bring you to the person you have affections, or you can play with it and that, because you are a little bit shy to get there. But you also, there is this energies in there within you, is because A lot of the people learned that the others have to do things so things can happen. Be mindful about this third party that you're putting into the union. Some of the peoples I've been talking about, it's like, I talk to my friend, I talk to this, I talk to that, and I believe that whatever happens in me, and it is the same thing what happens to them, and it's the same result. What can I do? Number one, and we mention it even this channel and in my main channel, we mentioned that stop thinking that other twin flame couples journey it seems like you're walking on the same road, you're facing different things, you're different energies. And here is that we see in a tendency that this kind of like a third party, they may be helpful, but they may be harmful. Maybe they're projecting their own fears. They did not face it into you, and now you're accepting those fears and you projecting it into your connection. In the psychology, this is called kitchen psychology. You're talking to someone who is not really pro, somebody who is like a similar journey within you, but they're acting in the negative way. And here is these things that when you look at it to the patterns, guys, okay, let's be a little bit straightforward in there. Some of you is going to be demanding because the third party that you are talking to it, they're demanding from their connection and they're pushing you to demand. And then your journey doesn't go well. And then it's like, what happened? Always, always look within you. You can communicate with other people. You can go ask for advices. You can go have an sessions. You can whatever. But the ultimate goal is not about that. The ultimate goal is you do your research. You do your things. And whatever is being given to you as informations, whatever you're looking at the videos on the internet, whatever you're looking at as a consultations with other people, or even communications and talk in there, this is your input information. But the biggest thing as an input is your soul. So you're not looking at into your soul, you're looking to the other people's experiences. Now take that informations, then that this, put it into your soul, and let the soul see that out. See what's gonna be left over. Let the soul remove the thorns, remove that stuff, remove everything in there, all this bad stuff out. Something's gonna left. And the soul is gonna be like, here, take this. This is gonna help you out in there. Okay? And this particular moment is going to be the time when the union comes in, you're going to do the same thing with your partner and the universe. Because what you did with that, with the soul, you're going to do the same thing with the universe. And that is going to be comes in the beauty. Okay? Everything is pretty much as simple. Okay? But the thing is your awareness up here. Where is that? What do you do without awareness? Okay? All right, guys.
No, it's a good preparation, especially when you enter this stage when you're gonna be asked to get out of your how do you say, like certain bodies, like you're gonna be working out through your emotional body, and at some point you just have to get out of it, like not completely act from your emotional response. Or maybe your mental body will be going through some upgrades and you're just, it's almost like you're required just to leave it a little bit, and you're gonna notice that there is some very weird things that are happening to you on a
Trauma
mental level,
response.
either trauma response or just you will feel that some part of your system is not fully operational in a way. Like you feel like it's, you don't really know what to trust and what is true, what is the trauma response, what is emotional response, what is even, am I projecting something, am I going crazy, all of this, depending on which kind of body will be involved in these upgrades, you'll be asked to kind of act from certain units, let's call it. And especially in those like pretty confusing moments, it's useful again to get back to the soul, or even wait it out. Like there is certain power in just being able to stay in the presence and allow the reality to unfold a little bit more. Because I can think of, several moments that it was getting confused to the point that I wouldn't even know which intuition that I'm supposed to be listening, because I would be getting completely different signs, right? Like completely different opinions or completely different directions. And in the end, sometimes we just supposed to wait for this like a garbage to clear out, not to do anything. So you see, like at some level you will see that it's not everything that you hear or see or think it's true and it's meant to be kind of accepted as a truth. Like that touches on a little bit on this multidimensionality. You may be getting even information's different timelines, all these different versions of yourself even. And ultimately, like a 3D, whatever happens in 3D and whatever happens between you and another person is really expressed within the connection, will be navigating towards this most peaceful state. And if anything, like the universe and your soul will be this ultimate guidance in this. And sometimes the guidance is just wait for the garbage to calm down and see what is being left out, after the whole stormy things are appearing. So sometimes waiting for the things to calm out is the best way. But it's again like we're mastering those things because there are so many different things that are like new, and you need to figure out where you are.
Garbage. You see, take a look at us right now about it. I mean, imagine that everything that has to be, right? Let's say like a beer cans, glass, papers, food, and compost, and so on and so on. You don't put everything on one bag and you throw it away, right? But when you take a look in there, if you were saving, separated the beer cans, you separated the plastic, you separated the carton, the papers in there. If you save the compost, which is going to be recycled to create a new compost for a new waste in there, and so on. And then whatever is left over, you actually discarding because the garbage is the garbage is. This is what actually the whole process is coming into it. Okay. But at some point, also when you take a look, yeah, the connection itself is going to be asking you to look the both garbages, okay, what's left in there. And now, since we are in the union, you're going to be seeing it through this. Maybe you think that, oh, I'm going to saving this and there, and then your partner see, oh, this is a garbage, and then you start for a moment. It's like, okay, do I really need it? It is. You never realized it though. But how do you take it when your partner comes in with this, right? But as Paulina said, people are getting offended and people getting in there because you haven't learned how to what accepting the mirror, accepting the other side, the other comments in there. And now with all this, you turn into a what? Demands. You turn it into a totally different mentality within this. But the universe has its one thing, though. Okay, let's picture that this line right here. Okay, the universe just goes and pulls that up a little bit. It's like, hey, let me remind you who you two are and why did I put you together. You're gonna see how the universe wants to shake us up a little bit to see what is going to be fell off out of us in there. And here is like you're going to be looking at all these damages, all these traumas, okay? But you're going to be looking at and go through them together as you understand the purpose of the union is to go through this together. The purpose of the union is to manifest together. The purpose of the union is to be together. The purpose of the union is to be one within the universe as coupled together within the universe. And now that energy of the universe is going to comes in a shape the relationship. Yes, maybe certain things it has to be a little bit tough. Okay, there maybe are going to be a rough moments in there, but that's going to develop what strength. Maybe certain things is not going to be pretty, but that is it because it needs to be work to bring the beauty. Okay, but you were able to see it through the connection, through the understanding. And when the things starts happening in there, the things beginning to become beautiful, right? You're like, oh, now I get it. Now I see it. And this kind of like of things is gonna be able to help you out to stop, put some garbage into the connections, but take the garbage out of the connection. Okay. And this is one of the things about the demanding of about projections and so on and so on. This is why we came in to talk about it today.
Yeah, no, I
So,
think it's like, unless there are any questions, I wanted to
oh
wrap
yeah,
up a little bit.
yeah. If it's any of you guys have so many questions, we would like to just see them in the chat. And if not questions, hopefully this video help you out with this. There's gonna be some more stuff coming up from us guys here. And I mean, the evolution is coming. The evolution is here. The evolution is working. We just have a hard time, and the hard time is this control. Let it go of the control. See what's gonna be left over. Okay, let the things dissolve, and you see that something different is gonna be coming out of that.
Yeah, and also as a reminder, whatever you let go of control, it doesn't mean that you stop attracting things to your life, that you stop manifesting. The things will be still coming up, and they will be coming up. Those wishes that you put at some point, that you wished for yourself, that you were, those lowest moments that you were wondering what is left out in your life, and there has to be certain happiness, like those lowest points that we all once went through. If you let go of the control to have things certain way, you can finally start attracting those things that are kind of already waiting, right? But the problem is sometimes we don't see the whole picture, so we may create our own block. So that's why it's very useful at some point to just sit back and wait for the new thing, especially this beginning of this year. It feels like it's gonna be a lot of movement and a lot of adjustment. So if you can help yourself a little bit with this, just stay open and just try out whatever happens to you. Just try out, because either it's gonna be the blessing, it's gonna be this useful redirection. So you taste it and you decide, do you want to keep it in your life, or it's a garbage, has to go.
Self-reflection, guys.
So hopefully it helps you, and I guess we're gonna get back at some point. You can try to catch us live. If there is certain time that works for you guys for the lives that you prefer during Friday nights or weekends or anything, or any suggestions for the channel, please let us know. It's gonna be useful. And thanks for coming in.
Thank you, guys. We wish you a happy new year, and hopefully you guys gonna be good. And keep in touch here. Thank you, Lisa.
Happy New Year, Lisa. Thank you.
Much love.